Big upgrades are being made to the Lego City. I'm adding backgrounds and undershelf lighting, so by the end of this video, the Lego City should be looking better than ever. Welcome to another video, and in this one, I've got 3 things on the agenda. So the first task is to add backgrounds to the Lego City. I'm incredibly excited. I've been wanting to add the background since I started working on the Lego City. The second task is to add lights under the shelves. Where the light gets blocked from one shelf to the other, I'm hoping that adding some lights will solve that issue. And the third task is in the Lego display area, where the Rivendell display case and the bookcase it's on top of are supposed to be pushed up against the wall, but there was a shelf, which has now been removed. The holes have been filled and it just needs smoothing out and painting over. So with those 3 tasks on the to-do list, let's start with the backgrounds. This is the design that I've chosen, so I've gone for a sunset sky. There's going to be 6 of these in total. They're all stickers, so I just need to peel the back off and then apply them to some boards that I've had cut to size. And very conveniently, they are 1.2 meters wide. And the reason I say conveniently is because the shelves in the city, they are 2.4 meters wide, but where there's 4 shelves that make up one, this half is 1.2 meters, then you get the meeting point, and then another 1.2 meters. So yes, I think I've done really well to find these posters that are 1.2 meters, and then it'll be 2 of these per shelf. And I'm hoping that it's quite a seamless fit. They're all the same design, so it's kind of inevitable that they won't look perfectly seamless. But yeah, it's got quite a nice design to it, and I'm thinking that because of the design, it will look okay. And then taking a look down here, these are the boards. So I've got some good thick boards here, so hopefully they won't bow. And then they are going to slide down the back of the Mills plates. So I need to adjust this top line of rock panels by 2 or 3 studs, I think. So I need to take care of that now. And then we can look at applying those posters to the boards. Oh, and I should mention that I'm getting a lot of help from my dad with this. And these posters aren't perfectly cut as they're meant to be. So where it's supposed to be 40 centimeters, it might be 39.5, and the same goes for the 1.2 meters. I think, I don't know if it's 3 of them out of the 6 might be just short as well, like 119.5 or 0.7. So it might sound like a very small amount, but when we're trying to line these posters up, it could make a big difference. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of measuring. Okay, I've just laid down one of the posters on top of a board just to get a feel for the fit. So I've lined this side up with each other perfectly. Okay, not perfectly anymore. I've just knocked that out of place slightly. Let me just try and get that back to where it was. So I was lining it up with this corner up here. So this side is flush. And then when you move over to this end, this is what I was saying about those imperfections in the measurements. You can see here where the poster is falling just short of the board. So I've got a list where I've numbered the posters and I've got their measurements, so I can try and pair them up with each other. And I should also mention that there's an allowance of 1.5 centimeters on the board. So it's, instead of 40 centimeter height, it's got a height of 41.5. And that 1.5 centimeter is to allow for Mills plates. Mills plates are 1.5 centimeters high. So I didn't want to lose any of the sky below it. So the background should sit flush with the top of Mills plates, and then what could have been lost will sit higher now. So yeah, I've accounted for that. So let's see what we can do. And the backgrounds are up. Okay, I was a little bit disappointed to begin with, but as time's gone on, because it is the next day here, I'm coming around to it. The reason that I felt that way is because of the splits between the boards. There's more than I anticipated. I knew there would be splits, but just not by this much. And it's just about thinking of ways to make it more subtle. So for example, this board here, this was a wider gap, but what I did was place a 2x2 brick behind the Mills plate, and it just gently pushed the lower part of this board backwards, and it's aligned that little bit better. The boards are tacked to these rails using double-sided tape, But yeah, there was just so many imperfections. So the posters were meant to be 1.2 meters by 40 centimeters. The boards were meant to be 1.2 meters by 41.5 centimeters. But yeah, as you can see, that board is exposed down the bottom, but I'm pretty confident that by the time that I put the buildings up and I'm landscaping, that margin at the bottom of the board is going to be very, very minimal, if there is any. I think there's going to be plenty of ways to sort that out. So yeah, like I say, I'm coming around to it, finding these little ways of making the imperfections more subtle. Looking at the side of this board, you can see where the poster hasn't quite reached the end. This one, so there was some cutting that went on, so the cut might be on the inside for this one. I'm not too sure, but in any case, the poster hasn't reached. Yeah, so much work went into it. I'm so glad we did it off camera because it just wasn't the easiest task. It was nowhere near as simple as I was thinking it would be. I was thinking maybe I could put some pink tape here, but I don't really want to go overboard and do too much. I think sometimes, you know, just let it be as it is, but we'll see what happens as time goes on. Then here there was a disaster. The cliff face that I was experimenting with on the A-frame cabin Mills plate, yeah, it got knocked over by the board. I think it happened a couple of times, but yeah, this time I just decided to wait until we're finished working and then I'll put it back together. It was very fragile anyway because it was just like a mock idea. I hadn't actually finalised it, I was just getting an idea of how it might work. But I am intending to make it much stronger when the time comes to actually put it together. With the backgrounds taken care of, it's now time to get some lights under the shelves. But just before I get onto that, I have had a delivery with some Lego inside. So let's go and open it up and see what I've got. And this is it. So as you can probably see already, it is the Simpsons gift with purchase that came with the Krusty Burger. I think it was last year, 2025. Is that when the Krusty Burger released? I think so. So yeah, the Simpsons living room. Just it's a small build. And I know it's small because I've seen review videos and there's only just enough space to get really one figure, but you might be able to get two on there. But I think otherwise it is just one minifigure that fits on there comfortably. And yeah, just a fun little purchase on eBay. This should be a cool little addition to the collection. The Simpsons house, that's my white whale set, and I can recall seeing it in the Lego store. I think it was 2015. And if I'd have got it then, if I knew then what I knew now, I could have saved myself a lot of money, but it is what it is, and it adds to the excitement of Lego collecting to have that one particular set above all that I would like to add to the collection. And I would of course like to add the other Simpson sets to the collection, so the Quickie Mart and the Krusty Burger. And then, of course, next year we've got the Simpsons movie coming out, the new one. So it'll be interesting to see if Lego give us any more Simpsons sets. And there are reports already that we're going to get a upscaled Homer Simpson minifigure. And yeah, I would be really excited for that if we are to get one. So yeah, that's my first Lego Simpsons set, and I think that's a cool little addition. Right, these are the lights that will be going under the shelves. There's 12 in total. These ones over here I've had since the shelves went up to begin with, and in the meantime I've been using them for lighting on some of my videos. So yeah, I really need to get around to sorting out a ring light or something that can just help with the videos, because these are now going to be placed under the shelves finally. So giving you a demonstration, it does have a sensor so they can detect movement, but if I just turn it on all the way, so that's one light, and then it can change the tone. I think it's this one. Yeah, so that changes the tone of the color. And there's 3 options there. And then we can also change the brightness. So yeah, these should be really effective. And then the idea is that they're going to be paired up. So looking at the shelves, they'll go under this top one and the middle one. And then there's a space here, and one over there. And then, yeah, they'll be paired up. So there'll be one at the front and one at the back. So it's just going to be a case of measuring and trying to figure out kind of where the center is in between these brackets maybe, and also these brackets, and the same at the back, and then trying to keep them aligned. So yeah, it's going to take some measuring. There's a lot of measuring going on in this video. I think we're doing it off camera though, because yeah, it's just easier that way rather than adding any more unnecessary stress or effort into it. What is nice is that they come with these guides. So these will hopefully help. They'll just help to figure out where the magnets go. So they're magnetized. So the magnet will stick to the bottom of the shelf, and then the lamps can be pulled off and recharged. So I'll check back in with you once these have been placed. Well, how about this then? The Lego City upgrades have been completed. I am really liking how it's looking. These lights are doing just what I wanted them to do. So just as I said, there's one set of lights at the front of the shelf, one at the back, and the same goes for down here as well. There was a small accident at some point. This light at the back fell down. I put it back, so we'll see with time if it's going to stay there. And then up here, this light at the back needs to be charged. Like I say, I was using them in the meantime for my videos. Besides that, yeah, it's all looking really good. And I like how it's come together. Despite my reservations about the finish of the backgrounds, yeah, it's looking good. Now, the third task that I wanted to take care of in this video was to smooth over these spots of filler and then paint. However, I don't think I'm going to get that done in the time I have to make this video, which is okay. It's a simple enough task that can be taken care of in between other things. I'm just really glad that the Lego City has been upgraded and the addition of the backgrounds and the lights under the shelves have been made. And now I'm ready to make some serious progress as I get to working on the Lego City. Just taking another look, moving along the bottom shelf here, and then moving up to the middle shelf, and then the top shelf. With those improvements made to the Lego City, it's time to end the video. But before I finish, I have to give credit to my dad. Without his work and effort, it wouldn't be looking as good as it is. And as I look towards working on the Lego City, I'm thinking the river might be a good project. It'll have a big impact. Anyway, thanks for watching, especially if you've made it this far into the video, and perhaps you can consider hitting that subscribe button. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.